מים ושמיים, כאן קולי נשמע, מסביב לי, הרוח הגדולה, מקומי קדוש הוא על האדמה, מים ושמיים, כאן קולי נשמע, מסביב לי, הרוח הגדולה, מסביב לי, הרוח הגדולה.
Okay. Frida, tell what is in your thoughts, in your dreams, what comes to your mind. Just say, start.
I mean, as I was telling you the other day, like lately I haven't been dreaming so much. So today I was thinking of actually one nightmare I had when I was a child. Like I remember 2 nightmares very vividly. And I've never really spoken about them, and I think I would like to talk about one of them.
One of them.
Yeah.
So you choose one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because also, I mean, it has to be with one friend of mine from childhood, and like she's still my friend. And also lately I dream a lot about her. So I think that's why I want to talk about that dream.
Okay.
So the dream was like in my house when I was growing up, and we were in
How old?
I was like 6, 7, 7, I would say. And I had a like.
And you were living. You were living with your parents in the house?
So I was living with my parents, and this friend, I know her since I'm a baby, literally. We went to the same, like before kindergarten. So, and we were best friends all the way till high school, or like before high school.
And she's still with you?
Yeah, she lives in Mexico. But she's part of my of my life for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean,
okay.
Yeah, 36-year-old friendship. And so, but this dream was horrible, in a sense that we were playing in my garden in the house, and I remember there was also this other friend, and then the game was somehow that we would stretch each other. But I remember...
You would what?
Stretch each other. I mean, it doesn't make sense. Like, so this friend was laying or something, and then I would take her arms, and the other friend would take the legs. And then what happened is that we were pulling so hard that my friend, completely fell apart.
Strange.
Yeah, and that I dreamt when I was a child, and I remember being really afraid of...
What happened in the dream?
Well, she exploded, and then I woke up.
And then you woke up?
Yeah. And I always felt really bad about that dream, and I had never talked about that.
You felt bad?
Yeah, somehow guilty of having killed her, because it was like killing her. Yeah.
Together with the other?
Yeah, she was a neighbor. She lived in the same neighborhood. And yeah, like at that moment in my life, I would see her a lot. I don't get in contact much with her anymore. Yeah, I have her in my Facebook friends, and I see that she has babies and stuff, but that's all I know of her.
Horrible dream.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you have never spoken about the dream?
No. No, I always felt guilty about it. Like, I don't know, that something in me wanted to harm, or like, why was I dreaming that?
There's the question, why were you dreaming that, and there's also the question why you are telling it now.
Yeah. I'm really haunted by it lately, in the sense, as I tell you, like, the last 2 months or something, like, it was this friend and I have another friend who's like, they're like sisters for me, in a way, no? Like, I grew up with them. And I have been dreaming about both of them. like we go on vacations, or we go, like, the last dream with them, I was in a party with them, and somehow I was excluded from the party.
You were excluded?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I dream with them constantly, which is weird. I find it weird.
That dream you told before, this horrible dream, it was a repetitive dream?
No,
just once?
It only happened once.
What do you think, why you dreamed that dream?
I don't know, like, but yeah. I mean, that time, there was a, like, even worse nightmare. That also I haven't told anyone. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what this thing of me being a child dreaming I killed people. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if at some point it was somehow jealousy.
Because of what?
Because I'm an only child, and both these friends have brothers.
You are an only child.
Yeah. And I think I've always felt
Still.
a bit. Yeah. It never happened. Yeah, I felt always like that I was jealous of having either a sister or a brother. Maybe that's it. I don't know.
You were jealous about her?
No, I mean, like, this thing that this feeling that maybe they are more important for me than I am for them. You know? Because I'm not part of the family. Or...
But you say they.
Yeah, because it's two.
Yeah, but one helped you.
No, but that's another one.
Okay.
Like, that was, yeah.
Who was the one who helped you?
That was a friend that was, I mean, she was also very close, but only for a period of time of my life. And she was living like 7 blocks away from my house. And yeah, but I don't really keep in contact with her anymore. But I mean, and it was interesting because these 2 friends that were like my sisters, they didn't like the other friend.
These 2 friends who were like your sisters were...
Not liking the neighbor friend. Because the neighbor friend was very smart, but she could be cocky, you know, like, I'm very smart. And then, yeah, people in general don't like that, you know, especially children, I think. Or at least that was the case. I don't know if that has anything to do, but I mean, with this neighbor friend, I mean, I remember once we were selling flowers to people and so on to get some money. And we were in her
Get
house.
some money.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to, I did things like that as a child. And then we had the flowers at her house. And I remember once, like, her mother is an architect. And we spilled the water of the flowers in the blueprints. And she was really, really, really angry, like yelling at us and screaming, and like that was very, very frightening. And I don't know if that was part of the thing.
That happened around the same time?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It is in a way strange that you dreamt a dream and you took it with you such a long time, never spoke about it, and now you've decided to speak about it.
Yeah. I don't know why also.
You kept it for a long, long time with you, like a treasure or something like that. Horrible thing.
Yeah, I mean, it was too ugly to share it. But maybe I don't see it so tragic anymore. That's why I can talk about it. You know? Like, it's also not such a big deal. It's not that I killed my, you know, like my friend, or that I wanted to kill her or anything. Which, when I was a child, I lived it like that.
Yeah, yeah. So what is the importance of it now? Why do you remember it now?
I mean, the thing is, I was very recently deeply touched by this friend.
By the friend whom you killed in the dream?
Yeah, exactly.
You tear apart.
Yeah, like because
Because of what you were deeply touched?
I constantly move, or I change houses and whatever, no? Yeah. And then I had many packs of things and clothes and stuff. And she kept it in her house for like 4 years, right? And I was telling her all the time, please just throw it away. I feel really bad because I couldn't go to Mexico and I couldn't pick it up. And I was really like, I felt bad that I, you know, like was taking over her basement. And she's like, no, don't worry, Frida, la la la, no? And then she had to free it now. And
her flat with your things?
Yeah. But then she was like so careful on like giving some things away, and she was like, Frida, but I had to go over your things, and I kept your typewriter, and I kept your cassettes that I found, and you know, and some photos, and that was like for me so beautiful that she would take care with, I don't know, it really, I don't know, it amazed me that I was somehow so important, or that she took so much care. And yeah, I found it extremely beautiful.
She took care of your things?
Yeah, more than I would take care of them. And yeah.
Take care.
I don't know if it's also like missing them in a way, like because more and more I'm living here, like
living or leaving?
Living, like staying, you know, being in Austria.
Yeah.
And
but it sounds so similar.
like living, yeah. But maybe that happens.
Maybe.
But yeah, more and more I feel this detachment from Mexico, in a way.
What is it? What touches you?
Like that the past feels more and more far away.
Tear apart?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Like if it didn't existed, like that maybe I imagined it in a way, that maybe people don't remember me anymore there. But I mean, of course they do, but it's always like, for me it's always beautiful when someone remembers me from there, you know? Because it's like, oh yeah, that did happen, you know? And we have memories together.
Give some sort of consistency.
Yeah, some origin, no?
Origin.
Or that you're from somewhere. You're not just like flying somewhere. That touches me a lot.
Mm.
Yeah. And I think this act of this friend was really, because even like one of the cassettes she kept, we were playing when we were 12 of doing a radio station. And these cassettes have those, you know, like our interviews and whatever. And I'm really grateful that they didn't end up in the trash.
Some sort of a documentary of your life that really had happened.
Yeah.
It really was there.
And even there's another cassette of my mother, like that she recorded me when I was a baby and when I was a child singing. So it's like really treasure. And she saw the treasure. And yeah.
Where is it now?
The cassette?
Yes.
It's still at her place.
At her place.
Yeah, I haven't gone back to Mexico. I don't know when I will.
What?
Like, I haven't gone to Mexico since she kept them. So when I go back, I will listen to them. But I don't know when will that be.
For how many years?
I mean, the thing is, next year I don't think I will be able to go to Mexico. Normally I go once a year. So I think that's
so
also part of it.
You were in Mexico last year?
I was this year.
This year?
Yeah, but that happened after. But yeah, I didn't go. Long story. COVID and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are you?
Thinking about this friend, if she's watching this live stream, I'm thinking about that.
Take care of your things, your past. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird that I'm even a bit crying.
Can you say why? What makes you a bit crying?
I don't know. This nostalgia, maybe. This, yeah. Missing people.
Who? Her?
Yeah, I mean, in a way, yeah, for sure. When we played, and we really had fun when we were children, I think, together. We always created some ideas, and yeah, it was fun to be with her.
Mm. And now, Frida, what is fun
What is fun?
now?
Dancing can be fun.
Dancing.
Yeah.
You will dance today?
Definitely.
Good.
Definitely.
Okay. Let's leave it here.
Thank
See you. Bye.
Ciao.
After time, before there were thoughts and sounds, before there was depression and time, after the whole scheme of ideas has collapsed, after the world understood itself, after there was a before, there was time. Things shatter. Mornings are cold, and there was time. How to excavate this thing that haunts my every hour, to expel the timelessness, the meaninglessness, hail, praise, homage. Before the texts, there were the ancestors, the remedy of poetry, inscribed into the souls of others, searching for the time inscribed in eyes, the time perpetuated by words. Bodies surrender to the grammatical knowledge of voice. Nana protects and guards the sea. The woman was covered in veils. The shores of the Atlantic used to scream. They screamed the names of those who were in pain, the Ghanaian lines of Abrekum. I turned my head back to the waves. Surrender is the name of Abrekum. Abrekum. People say that it is easy to recover, that there is time and that there is time, and there was T.S. Eliot and the sky, to find hopes in the remedies of others, in the knowledge of papers, scattered papers that have now turned to ash, for this flesh of mine to appear, for this flesh of mine to disguise, to understand that the cornea is concave, that the shapes of plants are intuitive, the repetition of words. Grammatical notions of the ocean and the sea. Like porcelain plates, like petrified images in time. And the boats. Can we forget about the boats and its rhythm? I have to turn my back my head to the water. Shh. Silent hills, shattered skulls, I continue to pose the question, do I hope? Thou, Lord of the hidden shrine, homage to you, homage to thee, combination of gods, indecent faiths, a non-equilibrium of form, the solar litany, the spoken falsehood, homage, homage to the ones we have lost, homage to thee, O thou who rest upon the ocean. On this my head, this my neck, this my arms, this my flesh, and this my limbs, to punish the scoffings of the high ones who caused this disease to enter my flesh by working magic in these my limbs, so as often as the disease penetrates into this my flesh, this my head, these my arms, into my body, and into these my limbs, Ra has compassion, saying, I will protect thee from my enemies, as it is to be 1,000 times. Goddesses who grant me protection, there will be infinite time. Time to heal 1,000 times, and another 1,000 times.
HUGGY BEARS 21. HUGGY BEARS is a one-year mentoring program, and these year artists are Laura Stoll, Frida Robles, the collective Maria Mercedes, and the PUC collective. You saw already the third show in this week, sessions with Frida. We now make a break to prepare the second show of the evening from PUC collective. So we see each other here at 9 o'clock and take a drink outside, relax, and have nice talks. See you. Thank you.
Und hier kommt euer Host für die heutige Late Night Group Therapy, die Therapeutin des kollektiven Unbewussten, Shudini the Sensitive.
Of private thought, imagination, and volition. Today, it often includes some kind of experience, cognition, feeling, or perception.
Und hier kommt euer Host für die heutige Late Night Group Therapy, die Therapeutin des kollektiven Unbewussten, Houdini the Sensitive.
Of private thought, imagination, and volition. Today, it often includes some kind of experience, cognition, feeling, or perception.
Und hier kommt euer Host für die heutige Late Night Group Therapy, die Therapeutin des kollektiven Unbewussten, Houdini the Sensitive.
Of private thought, imagination, and volition. Today, it often includes some kind of experience, cognition, feeling, or perception.
Und hier kommt euer Host für die heutige Late Night Group Therapy, die Therapeutin des kollektiven Unbewussten, Houdini the Sensitive.
Of private thought, imagination, and volition. Today, it often includes some kind of experience, cognition, feeling, or perception.
Und hier kommt euer Host für die heutige Late Night Group Therapy, die Therapeutin des kollektiven Unbewussten, Houdini the Sensitive.
Of private thought, imagination, and volition. Today, it often includes some kind of experience, cognition, feeling, or perception.
Und hier kommt euer Host für die heutige Late Night Group Therapy, die Therapeutin des kollektiven Unbewussten, Houdini the Sensitive.
Inspection of private thought, imagination, and volition. Today, it often includes some kind of experience, cognition, feeling, or perception.
Und hier kommt euer Host für die heutige Late Night Group Therapy, die Therapeutin des kollektiven Unbewussten, Houdini the Sensitive.
Inspection of private thought, imagination, and volition. Today, it often includes some kind of experience, cognition, feeling, or perception.
Und hier kommt euer Host für die heutige Late Night Group Therapy, die Therapeutin des kollektiven Unbewussten, Houdini the Sensitive.
Inspection of private thought, imagination, and volition. Today, it often includes some kind of experience, cognition, feeling, or perception.
Und hier kommt euer Host für die heutige Late Night Group Therapy, die Therapeutin des kollektiven Unbewussten, Houdini the Sensitive.
Inspection of private thought, imagination, and volition. Today, it often includes some kind of experience, cognition, feeling, or perception.
So good evening everyone, I'm Philippe from HUGGY BEARS. What we're trying to do here is to give conditions for the emerging scene to develop their work. Up to come, it's PUC collective, and since we're dealing with live art, just so you know, we have an opera singer having an issue with her voice, so what you're going to be attending now is an adapted version of their work. Cheers to that, and have a nice evening.
my body would not fit in the cocoon of loneliness.
water. Redest, redest. The frame bones of my spine twitched. The frame bones of my spine twitched. Sensing. footsteps echoed the aisles of the road. It tread despair, despair overtook my soul's overtuned. That green phantasm passing my window said to my heart, look, you never soared. Look, you never soared.
to HUGGY BEARS 2021. This evening we saw 2 show sessions with Frida and Dreamscraper. And to get to know the artists of the evening better and their projects, I want to invite you to an artist talk that will take place in 15 minutes here im Saal. And so we make just a short break, and we would like to see you here again in a bit. Thank you.
Joe le encanta esta huevo. Hacemos una acción ahora y solo hablamos entre nosotros en español. Para reivindicar la periferia frente al centro.
Como que el proyecto llamó a Latinoamérica.
No, si yo estoy acá, yo estaría excitado eso. Habla y no le da la palabra a nadie.
Coge la palabra y no la suelta.
No la suelta. Y si alguien le discute, defiende su postura. Yo le escamo porque ya habla bien. Bien, es verdad.
Everybody's fine? Yeah. Okay, so we see how many people were entered. We start in 1 minute. But it's for people at the screens too, you know? Yeah.
I don't know where it's under. I have no idea where it is. Why am I doing that? Give it to me. Too tired. No, it will be more embarrassing. But can you pass? I have process of Schumberger.
Exacto. Sí, yo se lo envié a mi familia, pero no lo compartí. Siempre es la familia nada más que la ve. Sí. Los 3 festivales. Mi mamá pone like. Y a veces se enoja porque la persona enojada.
Danke. So I would say we'll start now. Hello, everybody. To HUGGY BEARS 2021. I welcome also the artists here on my side from this evening. So on my left side, it's not all Frida Robles, but she's in the middle, and the others are all the artists that worked together with her for the show we saw first this evening. And on my right side, there is a PUC collective, some of them, I would say. So hello, nice that you are here and that we can talk a little bit about you and your projects. Hello. And that we get to know a little bit more about the year that you spent in HUGGY BEARS program. And you are also invited to question. So in between, please raise your hand, make a sign that I know if somebody wants to talk. Very interesting about the HUGGY BEARS program is that all the artists in this program are coming from very different backgrounds. And we already had a talk on Wednesday with the first 2 shows and the artists of the shows, and already for these 2 artists, they were completely different from the backgrounds. And this would be my first question: from which backgrounds are you coming? Because not all artists already did a lot of performance dance art before. Some of them really start with this program to explore this field, I would say. So it's perhaps interesting to know a bit more about your backgrounds. Who wants to start?
Okay, I have the mic, so I feel on spot to start. I come from Ukraine, and I come from a dance background. Very long time. I'm dancing since I'm 3 years old. And since 7 in a professional education. And then I studied in Austria, but really coming from dance background. And but we also have Amir in our collective, who is a composer coming from music background, from Iran. And then we have Adrian, is a second composer, coming from Spain, with a totally different music. Yes, and our team has many different backgrounds and countries of origin. Also Austria.
Thank you. What's about you, Frida? Yeah, great.
Okay, so I studied history as a bachelor, and I was working as a historian for a while, and then I turned to more arts in public space. So I have a mix of everything, and yeah, this is the first time I engage with the stage, and yeah, and like with a big crew, a fantastic crew. Thank you. Yeah.
For the HUGGY BEARS program, you have to apply because there are many people that want to go through this program. So I asked myself, what was the reason for you to apply? So what were your wishes or your visions that you could go through with this program? Do you remember that?
The thing is, I don't know if I should be, like, the thing is I didn't know so much of HUGGY BEARS as a program, to be honest. And I saw that there was a space to have a space to work for a year. And that was, I felt like I would profit from having an atelier. That's what I thought and then I realized it was a performance. I mean, it was a performative project that I wanted to do, you know, but it was a bit like, oh, this is interesting. So it was a surprise for me, but I'm very happy about the surprise.
Okay. What about you?
Yes, I knew about HUGGY BEARS before, and I didn't have any expectation of the format because the artists that I saw participated in the program came from really different background. And I remember I was like amazingly tired when I when I applied for HUGGY BEARS. And yes. I think for us, it was a motivation to have consistency in the work, so it's not just a short-term project where you have to deliver the work from very short starting point to the end, but it has this long duration and at the same time to be in the context and to have support and also somebody you can talk to and yes, basically have some support and mentoring and have this environment.
I don't know if everybody knows that program. That's why I would like perhaps that you share a bit how the process was during this year, because it's really a one-year program, so it's really a long time. And how can we imagine the work during 1 year at a project? Is it really a one-year work, or are there interruptions? Are there other processes in between? Perhaps you can share a bit this year with us.
Okay, Frida gave me a look, so I have to go first. Yes, for me it doesn't feel like the year started and now it ended and this is a big drop. It's just like, it's a continuous process, just the performance was one moment that became visible for the audience. But I think the most important process is to research of your standpoint as an artist and what would you like to bring to this scene and to project out. Of course, there were ups and downs. I think the corona situation kind of affected us in some ways because in the last months I realized, wow, there are more people coming into HUGGY BEARS. I can meet them, it's amazing. But because of the lockdown situation, it was sometimes a little bit lonely because we had to also be lonely there. Yes, and I wouldn't say like, okay, we moved in September and like, let's think about the next September. I think there was really a long space for research and just trying out ideas and seeing what works and also like doing some experiments also with the new media because we were forced to. So it was a mixed experience that had ups and downs. And of course, the last 1 month was super intense and cool because the lockdown is over. We met many wonderful artists, also that are outside of HUGGY BEARS program, and this I think is also wonderful. Yes, and it was good. now that I look back, but had some moment of despair also. Yes, it's always like this.
No, I'm just laughing because we have in the lyrics despair, and this was fitting. Well, no, I agree with Maria. Like, because of the corona situation, it was really a waving dynamics in HUGGY BEARS, and yeah, we also had to struggle sometimes with traveling, how to continue the work together, how to come together and really get everyone in the studio. But I think all in all, it's anyway a wonderful opportunity to have space and yes, have this continuous work, and not to just have a residency for 2 months, because yeah, it gives much more freedom, and I think in Vienna it's not so easy to find such spaces without a lot of money. So yeah, it was wonderful. What did you want, Adrian, me to say?
Let's give a look to Frida.
So it was, of course, a roller coaster for me. And the thing is, I had the thought, at least I was thinking about it for a year, I think, even if it was not active, working all the time, because of course we all have many other things to do to be able to pay rent and stuff, no? And other things that we also like. But it was interesting, especially at the beginning. It was more intense, like we had more workshops together and thinking together on what was the concept, and then Philippe was guiding a lot on and I remember at one point I was talking to Philippe because I wanted to think of more like this enchantment of like medicinal enchantments from the past, and then he was like, yeah, but how do you contextualize it to Europe? And then it came this idea of having a psychoanalysis. And then Philippe take me to Daniela Finzi from the Freud Museum, and that's where Marcus came. So he was the first, somehow person, and somehow it started, like people started coming to the project. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know when we met. We met in October, I think, last year. But yeah, I don't know if you want to say anything.
I think it was in October last year, quite a long time, and we met several times since then. And you told me about this project, which was connected mainly to healing, to this word healing. And what you told me was that you wanted to give a mixture about different kind of techniques, healing techniques, like the healing technique that was invented in Vienna, the Freudian psychoanalysis, but also you also spoke about the chants and the musicians and chorus. I had the impression everything was there from the very first beginning, from the start, in a way, and you connected it during this year of meeting. Don't know, 4 times, 5 times, not more. And you told me about what you were inventing for that evenings. Wow. I thought when I was listening to you, guys, Frida and freedom. I was just hearing it like this.
So it's a very interesting point that these 2 productions, I would say, are really grown from people that are involved? Because I remember a first, not a triad, but a sort of a showing during Im Jahr Zeit in March. And I saw Frida and psychoanalyst, and I saw 3 people of your production. And I thought, oh, okay, it will work. It's not so complicated, technique-wise. And then I read on our web page, because my colleague was filling it in, I saw 12 people. Why? Why did this grow? So my question would be, how did this come? So how, I would say it was not planned from the beginning on that these productions are with such huge amount of great people on stage. So I would be very interested to know how these projects developed and how did it come?
I mean, I was also very lucky to get support from the MA7 city, so that was also a way to be able to pay people to participate, to collaborate, and that gave me also some freedom to be able to really invite people that I wanted to invite. And yeah, I mean, I remember, like, also with Rodrigo, I was freaking out at some point, like, oh, Rodrigo, I don't know what I'm doing, la la la. And then, because he's a scenographer as well, and then he helped me out, like, okay, we do a model, la la la, and that really grounded me. And I remember another day I was talking to Alvaro, like, about the project, and he's like, oh, but I can be part of that project. And I'm like, yeah, are you sure? And somehow that came, and then Joel came with Alvaro, and then Natalia came with Alvaro, and so it started growing as a sort of by connection. But I would be happy if you, Alvaro, have something to say, maybe.
Well, I remember the time you invited me for that project. I didn't invite myself, huh? We were near to the Museum Quartier eating pizza, and then you mentioned about this project, and I said, well, this is also much about what I'm thinking now, because at that time I was reading a lot about Jodorowsky, Alejandro Jodorowsky, who is like a great master of psychoanalysis and many things in connection with Frida. And then I realized also Frida was trying to find him in Paris, to meet him and to start to for other projects, but and then, well, I really liked the idea, the conception. I said, yes, I can do also, I can help you in something, I can add something to the concept and adding some musical ideas and textures. And then that is why also I thought about putting this core and create some texture and harmonies to these beautiful also lines from the Mexican old lady, and consider also Joel, who was working, extending the sound with electronic. So I remember, this was the moment where I just proposed. I said, this is a nice thing, and I will be happy if I can just help, and not only just be part of that, but help in something, what I can. And Frida was so kind to invite me and invite all my colleagues who came also with open heart and with a really huge motivation to participate and to really give something, So, yes.
Yeah, what about you?
I mean, we came into HUGGY BEARS as a collective of, yes, we have a fluid structure in the collective, so the people are coming and leaving. Yes, I think we always had this kind of utopia of working together with many people. And yes, I'm also surprised that it worked. When we were doing Im Jahr Zeit, I also thought it will be easy. And then I had the same experience with you, just from another side. Yes, but yes, I think we always wanted to work with many people, and it's great. And I don't know, it was never different. Maybe you should talk while you work with us.
I mean, I had something else in mind, because we were talking the last few days about what are the struggles within PUC. And I said, generally I think like PUC is more ambitious, a little bit more ambitious than what we can take at the moment. But I think it's very good. It's a better version than being too secure and too careful always. And yeah, actually I'm just getting surprised again and again how much creativity Maria has in mind to bring all these people together and all the props and light ideas. I think not everything works in this moment like 100%, but there is space still to grow, and yeah, there is potential in it, and I think it's very nice. Why do I work with you? Because I love you.
Yes, actually from our team there is just one new person, Hanna Maria, I have to remember your second name. That is the first time working with us and with other people we collaborated on other projects before. So, you want to say something, Adrian? No? Amir, since you're on the other side of the, maybe from the distance you see better.
I mean, we ground PUC together. Yes, I mean, I'm as a composer, I was always conflicting with Maria, and because I wanted to understand the new words, actually, and it was for me always a new word to work with. I mean, to do scenic projects as a composer. I mean, as I was writing the composition, because my reference was the poem from Forough Farrokhzad. I mean, the composition was based on the poem from Forough Farrokhzad, is a Persian poet. And I mean, during this period, I was also talking with Maria. What I'm like imagining this, and she has like, I mean, the other word. I mean, sometimes I didn't understand, and we were like sometimes really conflicting, like really hard. And I think it should be like this. I mean, I like this. And yes, I mean that's why also I'm in PUC to conflict with Maria.
So obviously all the production really developed. Do you remember the initial ideas of the project and how, or if it changed a lot to this, what it is now? That would be very interesting because we heard a lot of new collaborations, new developments. Also in our magazine, you talked about this, how you got ideas from outside, just collected other views, other questions. How did it change? And if yes, how did it change to the first initial idea of the projects?
I mean, in my case, it changed all the time. Like, because every day I had like, maybe I do this, maybe I do that, right? But it really started being real when people came in, like, not just me, no? And Brigitte, who's there, who's the scenographer, was also a big step, like, to really have a structure from where to think through, you know? And so I'm very grateful for having worked with Brigitte. And I mean, also, like the last moment was the choir also. And also Rodrigo at some point also was like, can you please do the lights? So I don't know, it was like, and I'm also very happily surprised without an idea, but it became many Latin American people joining the project. Somehow, I don't know, I find it like it was also having a magnetism towards like that community, which I was very grateful, but I was not expecting that. But I don't know if Natalia, you want to say something?
Okay. Hi. I just can talk about like the music that Alvaro composed with this healing song. And it was very interesting because all the singers, we have a classical background. So to sing something like that was very interesting for us. And I have to say, it put us out of the comfort zone. Because to sing something like new music, like very new, is not so easy when you are used to sing like these compositions that were there like for hundreds of years. But it was very interesting, and when we saw everything together, was very emotional for all of us. So it was a very beautiful experience, and I thank Alvaro and Frida for this, for this beautiful performance.
How was it for you?
For me, the process is always like a conflict because between my imagination and reality of life. So I think the life shapes it, and the conditions and the environment situations that people come in. At some point I thought, it's really changed, but then I feel like, no, it's the same. So it's it's kind of a loop always for me. Yes, and maybe at the end today I think, okay, there are some things that are coming back, and this is maybe my identity. And of course it developed a lot from the initial idea. We didn't have Adrian on our team, Hannah Maria. I decided I don't want to dance. I kind of went opposite direction from Frida because I'm long time on stage, and I went out. Yes, of course there were many changes, but
the last change came yesterday when,
Yes, our singer lost her voice yesterday in the morning. So this is what I call the conflict between my imagination and reality. And this reality shapes the situation, and I deal with it, and this is a wonderful moment of life. Yes.
Are there already questions from the audience? Not to forget about it. So, no? Yeah, please.
How did you make
No.
go behind the stage? Because you said that you have been dancing since age 3, and what does it mean for you to be not on stage, but one kind of overseeing?
I just will retake the question for our audience at the screens. So the question is, how is it for you not to be on stage, but to decide to go beside the stage, just for our audience?
I think it's more stressful than to be on stage. But Philip told me, Maria, why don't you dance? So nice. Yes, everybody is against. No, of course not. It feels good. It was not a very complicated decision. I come from maybe somehow classical situation where I always have this Stanislavski in my head that says you should not love yourself in art, but the art in yourself. So for me, it's not so important to be on stage, and the spotlight is absolutely not important for me. And I told Philip, when I have an assistant, then I come back on stage. So I just wait for the loop to reverse. Yes. I don't think it's a final decision. I'm coming back. It's just in this moment of time that was the best and the most logical decision. And I love my dancers. So.
But we always start with you in being on stage and as a dancer, and we always end up you saying, okay, I need to step out and I need to overview the whole piece. So I think it's always like your decision in the end that you want to focus on this more.
Yes, but yes, exactly. It never works like I'm out from the beginning. I'm always in from the beginning, and then I get out, but not too far away. So not like our singer. Okay.
Are there other questions? No questions? Yeah?
I mean, I would like to ask Rodrigo also to, because I don't know, like what was your process or like your participation, or if you,
my process was always like really abstract. To understand what happened or what do we need or what are we going to have. So because the project mutate a lot of times, also yesterday we made like or Frida made the decision to change something like 3 hours before the performance. It was like, okay, now I need to change like 5 lights and move here and go over and move again, but it was all the time like this. In a moment when I noticed that, so I thought that okay, I need to shut on, ¿cómo se dice encender? Einschalten. To turn on my Mexican way to produce, to improvise, to be ready for everything. And for me, it's not stressful. It's kind of normal. And I said to Frida the whole time, so just easy, we're going to do that, don't worry. It's normal. It's quite normal that you decide 3 hours before the performance that you're going to be here and not here. So and I think that this is like a kind of quality way to produce performances, because if you stay with one idea the whole time, like 3 months, and you are not convinced that this idea is good until the performance is away, so it will not come anything to the stage, yeah. So, and I appreciate that Frida worked like this, yeah, because it was the whole time developing the whole time like new ideas and moving ideas and move all your group to go with the idea, and it's kind of Mexican style. That's good. Claro que sí, compadre.
Yeah, one question.
Transitioning between formats and styles, context, so that each invitation also goes to artists that have very different frames, backgrounds, but also formats and styles. And I feel that this is very different from talking about transdisciplinarity. So it's not about connecting methods, but also looking at different formats. And also their frictions and the empowerment of different formats and acknowledging them. So I would be curious for both of you, but also the whole team, of course, and I think this is very beautiful in this discussion that we see that for every team member it has a different trigger, a different perspective. But I would be curious to hear is there some kind of an element of a format, a different discipline that you keep with you? Meeting a different format that was maybe surprising or maybe making you feel distant or something, because the 2 evenings we saw that they were also dealing with very, very different backgrounds and frames.
Oh no, Frida. I mean, I think, okay, I will repeat it with myself. Amir wrote this music, and I didn't realize it's an opera until I met an opera singer, and I realized it's an opera. Yes, and of course, it's such a canonical and classical format, and it's also so hard. It's totally different universe for us, because normally as a dancer, if you're engaged in the opera, you're some kind of accessorized to the production. It's coming other way around. There is an opera, and then in the last stage, the dance engages, not the other way around. And then I kind of one day saw this situation, and I realized, okay, we have to deal with it. Yes, and then to have 2 composers, I think, is maybe as complicated as to have 2 directors or 2 choreographers, because yes, they have totally different style, and then I'm in between, and as you already heard, Amir is in conflict with me always, and then Adrian enters the triangle, so yes, it only gets more complicated, but is a very good challenge, and I think we had even more challenge in the time of lockdown when we had to deal with a video format. Like that was really even much more out of comfort zone and really hard. And I think the collaboration with the new media was not the top of success, but it brought so many new perspectives to the work, and maybe also in a way they affected this performance today. When I saw the live stream, then I also understood that this dealing with the video in lockdown maybe had an effect at the end to this work. And I don't know, maybe it's you dealing with dance, how you feel?
Just a word to that question concerning the, as I put it, the meeting point to another format for me was as a let's put it like that, a psychoanalyst who is listening to speech, to words and to signifiers and maybe to meaning, is the resonance which the musicians for me was marking something. It was the music was a mark of resonance, which is a different format than the meaning in a session when you only follow the meaning. But there's always, when you speak, because of the resonance of speech, there's also something beyond meaning, which is a different format. So this is for me the connection to the question.
Can I say something? For me, what it connects, like everything, was the breathing. Because when Frida was like talking about like the dreaming, like the dreams and everything, her breathing was like or like very calm. I mean, depends of what you were talking about. And after Alvaro's performance, that it was very intense and very, I don't know, at least for me, was something that I relate like to anxiety, like very anxious piece. And when we start, like the choir, it was like this first thing that and each singer had like the freedom to breathe, like how we felt in that moment. So for me, it was all about the breathing, because it shows how you are feeling in certain moments, because it's different.
Want to say something? The hard part is more interesting.
Mine?
Yes.
My part? Yes, well, I relatively came a little late to the production, so it was already going on production for a while. And I think there's some truth in what Esther was saying, that PUC has this uncompromising spirit. So they could have stayed with the production in a finished form that already existed, but Maria decided, you decided, there was some need for some contrast, so inviting a second composer to write new music, and as contrasting as possible, which was the instruction. That speaks for the desire to explore and to really reach out of the comfort zone, which is wouldn't have been possible in a shorter project. So that speaks for the residency. You know? It didn't came awkward, because in the context of the residency, it was kind of an organic thing, because we had collaborated already before in the Census project, which was also related, also birthed quasi out of the HUGGY BEARS residency project. So it was a very organic process where everything came to be with a residency in the background. And I think answering to the question about the formats and the transdisciplinarity, we all needed to find a hook, to find our place and our angle in the production, and we all needed to see the production from the eyes of everybody else, which speaks for the conflict you were talking about. But in the end, it's a much richer outlook that we gain because of this conflict and this working on an idea that becomes no one's idea, but the piece that you saw tonight.
Can I say something really quickly? For me, it was like really mind-blowing to also work with Álvaro and Joel. And I remember the other day I was listening to Fela Kuti, and I was really listening to different instruments, which because I have no musical understanding in life, you know. And it was so beautiful to really be able to see the layers and how complicated Fela Kuti is, and it's really opening me mind to think of music, and I'm really grateful for that. But and I would really quickly like to ask Álvaro to say, you're so. For me, it was so important also that you were a musician bringing your ideas and really wanting to push forward something that was important for you, you know? I didn't want to collaborate with someone that just was like, okay, I continue, I do what you tell me to do. I really didn't want that. I wanted an artist that had an artistic perspective and that was bringing something that I could never bring. And I'm really grateful that happened, so.
This is an important point, and I agree also with you about bringing some conflict also to the work, because when you put some ideas or some concept should be against what you are also thinking, to go to another step, another level, and the same with Joel. We think differently, but at the same time we just break the rules. We bring something else to the table, and then we can see and listen from different perspectives. That's why also when we were working together, I was putting a lot of ideas. Many ideas I didn't like at all. Many ideas were so random, but these are the best ideas in my opinion, because then I don't fit to the just symmetrical or nicer things, but instead of the other part of the sound of the sonorous texture. So I was just enjoy this with you and Joel, so making this conflict and going through the process. And at the end, I remember always a great artist said, we can do this 1,000 times, always better and always different. So it's never the same, but I guess we agreed sometimes. Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Are there any other questions? So I would say it's already late. We end here. I thank you very much. I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Esther Holland-Merten. I'm the Artistic Director of PUC Performing Arts, and we have been, thank you. We have been collaborating with HUGGY BEARS since 3 years, and we will follow up this collaboration. And I really want to thank you, Caro Madel and Philippe Riera, who are the so-called leaders, directors of the program. I really enjoy to work with them, and I know from all the artists that it's really a very good and very productive support during the year. So thank you very much to you. And I also want to thank our technicians for their work, because they really did a great job. It was really stressful, but they stay supportive and they saved it. Okay. And also thanks to the team of the stream, because always on the second days I really saw the shows on the stream and they really did a great job. So I invite you to see these live streams online on our webpage, because it will be settled in. Really, really, thank you very much for this work too. Thank you, audience, for coming, for staying, and thank you for your work and your trust, and I hope we see each other on other places. So, thank you very much. Good evening.